Welcome to the KOSP Mind Your Own Business Initiative with Thabiso Shingwenyana. I'm Galushim Konto, President of the Knowledge of Self Project. It is unfortunate that at this moment we cannot all be together, but technology has allowed us to be together in this virtual sense. The Mind Your Own Business sessions offer a platform in the direction that we are headed towards. It is also essential that in going to that direction of establishing as many black businesses in the community as possible, or creating a black economic structure, that we realize or we remain true to our ideology as an organization. And in you being here, it shows that you are aware of the fact that we need to establish black enterprises within the black community, and not just small businesses, but a network of businesses, and try to foster a culture of black group economics. This is essential in moving forward so as to realize the idea or the concept of an independent, self-reliant, self-sustainable, and dominant people. It is essential too that in going towards that direction of establishing black businesses, we remain true to our ideology. Our ideology will serve as a compass because we will be able to identify with one another and understand why these initiatives need to be. We are trying to establish a network of black entrepreneurship so as to rid the current systems of oppression on which we depend so much on for jobs. We're trying to remove them of that responsibility, so it is essential in getting our minds correct. We're not just trying to be rich throughout this process. We have to understand what our task is in establishing this system, not just trying to be rich, not just trying to make a lot of money, because it doesn't make sense if we are preaching Pan-Africanism, but you are able to establish a business but spend the proceeds of that business to buy Italian brands and German cars. We are trying to establish a culture that removes the need of a middleman, because the middleman forces us to go and seek an education, to invest our time and our money seeking an education and then giving the benefit of that education from the people who we got it from. This system makes the oppressor richer and the oppressed even poorer, because we see education as a system or as a channel of seeking employment and not as a means, as a tool for us to empower ourselves within the community. The Mind Your Own Business sessions will contribute and serve as a platform to where we are going entrepreneurship-wise and also economic-wise, because it is essential for us to grow economically as a people. Once we have that system of just 10 businesses within our community, then we begin to understand the difference between mobilization and organization. Then we can say we are organized. If we have 10 businesses which are serving the needs of black people within the community, at the same time trying to make some money without exploiting black people, then we can say we have a system which is organized and run by us. It is essential that we move away from the concept of mobilization because it works against us. In establishing the ideal of self-knowledge and the restoration of confidence, we are going to be telling ourselves that we are very capable of the systems that we are trying to do. And once we are able to create an organized system that is run and maintained by us, then we need not wait on another people to oppress us and then for us to protest their oppression. We say that we need to come to understand the difference between mobilization and organization, because the enemy will use mobilization to demobilize us. Mobilization is very easy. Since we as black people are a people who are instinctively ready to respond against acts of injustice, anytime there's one little act of injustice, we can find people who will come together and make a mass demonstration around it. For example, Miss Sally lost her job. Let's rally so that she can get her job back. We are mobilizing ourselves around this one issue. People will go to rally at issues, and this is what mobilization does. It mobilizes people around issues. Within the organization, because we are revolutionary, not just in thought, but throughout the project that we want to establish, don't just look at the project as a way to learn how to create your own business. You can learn that on any other platform. You can learn that online for free, from the comfort of your own home. But this is not what we are teaching. Not merely that. We are trying to revolutionize the way of thinking of Black people collectively. We are not concerned with issues, we are concerned with the system. And the issue or the difference between organization and mobilization must be properly understood. Mobilization will lead to reformed action, not to revolutionary action. It is a disadvantage because we have to wait for somebody to create something and then exclude us. Then we protest. We wait for somebody to create something and then we ask, why didn't you involve us? We say there are no Black artists winning awards. Why do we need to wait for recognition from a white establishment to know that our music is good? This is the disadvantage of mobilization. This is why it's essential for us to start our own things now. The issue of now is very essential, to try and establish our own platforms as young Black people working together to create a platform, a structure so heavily intertwined that it cannot be undone. We must hang on to each other with that reliance. In establishing this business, don't merely think about yourself and how much you will benefit. Think about how your idea can transform Africa or what issues that you can resolve, so that we don't have a rich group of people who are eating at Italian-owned or foreign-owned restaurants, putting on foreign brands and driving in foreign cars, but their community is in shambles. They do not contribute to the development of their people. This is not what we want. You must be well aware in undertaking these entrepreneurial sessions with Thabiso that we are shifting in our thinking, shifting in our consciousness, not just trying to establish a business, but trying to revolutionize the way of thinking. We're trying to intertwine the Black community within the ideal of group economics through creating a network of Black businesses with different services and different products. This is just a tip of the iceberg. We're not just doing business, of course, we're going to be venturing in other aspects. But yes, first this. That in creating this network, we are able to support one another. We are making the oppressive systems irrelevant. We don't have to protest. We create our own. They become irrelevant to us. So irrespective of what they do, it does not affect us. Because if we are sitting here and we are consumers of oppressive systems, or we are consumers of the shops or of the establishments that seek to oppress us, but we stand here and we meet and we say Black power, we don't have any power, because the energy which we get to say that comes from food which is not of our own. Your presence here is highly appreciated, and we as an organization hope that the information that you will be picking up from this session will be very beneficial for you, not just now but going forward. Keep the ideology of the KOSP movement in mind as you go forward. Do not defer from it. Even in your references, try to reference Black African scholars. Reference Black African scholars. Reference Black African scholars, reference Black African achievements. Make sure that your mind is thinking in a pro-Black way. Support Black and think only in terms of Black. And if anything questions your identity or the issues of Blackness, disregard it. Because we have been dependent for too long on a system that seeks to dismantle and oppress us, that seeks to rob us of our confidence. But now we stand differently. We stand aware with the knowledge of ourselves and where we come from, because we come from an incredibly glorious people. And we stand with the ideal of creating a system that is pro-Black and seeks to make the white oppressive systems irrelevant, unnecessary. So whatever that they have, it doesn't matter, it doesn't affect us, because we know that we are capable of creating 10 times better, and this is what we want to do now. We must absorb and develop a very strict work ethic in going into the future. Strict work ethic and a common understanding of one another. When we have a common understanding of one another, we will be able to understand why we have these initiatives. Because a people, whether in a tribe or a group or an organization, must know one another's collective interests so that we can be able to help one another. We do not need individual agendas. For a nation to progress, for a group to progress, we must meet together on common interests. Where do we want to go collectively? And if that is establishing a network of Black entrepreneurs, a system, a trading system of Black entrepreneurs, starting small in the townships in our community and eventually going global, then we are on the right path, as long as we maintain the ideology of a pro-Black and a Pan-African mind state. We can do it because we are Black. We will do it because we have done it before, and we have done it greater than any other race has done it. The Mind Your Own Business sessions are important in going to the future and establishing that network of Black entrepreneurs. Knowledge of self alone will not make us rich, but it will make it extremely difficult for you, the African child, to be disregarded and humiliated through slurs and shots at confidence. This, by removing the effect of other people's commentary on our progress as Black people, their statements will become irrelevant to us. This will therefore increase the effectiveness of the decisions we make and try to implement for our development as young Black people. If we are fighting to be accommodated by these oppressive structures, if we are fighting for them to consider our feelings and to consider us, we are mobilizing ourselves around issues, and we are not fighting for liberation. We will be fighting for consumer rights. So, we are now busy creating a youth empowering model which is so significant that in 10 years, implemented correctly, will see South Africa increasing their GDP by 2.6% because of young Black businesses. Of course, it's not about the money. The money will come inevitably. It doesn't have a choice. It's about creating channels for young Black farmers, innovators, creators, teachers, entrepreneurs, by empowering them. It is about enabling them to contribute to their society and regulate their own money, so that when an amount of money leaves one Black hand, it goes into another Black hand, to another Black hand, and so on throughout the network. So that the money doesn't go into the oppressive structures or white-owned firms and then leave the Black community. It's about fostering group economics, not seeking education as a means of employment alone, but as a tool of empowerment, change, and development. And once we begin, the momentum will increase. So with capital controlled by our own entrepreneurs, with money controlled by our own entrepreneurs as Black people, harnessed to our own true potential, we'll be able to channel that money to industrial and agricultural development and make our advance thereof. So unless we realize the urgency of now, through our combined efforts within the framework of our own planning as young Africans, we will not progress at the tempo which is demanded by today's events and the mood of today's young Black children. We need to have urgency. We must build collectively in light of the mission and the ideology as a pro-Black and pro-Pan-African association. We have nothing to lose except for these chains, these mental chains that confine us to a traditional path. When one hand pulls, the other hand must push. It mustn't sleep, it mustn't relax, it must push. That is how you break your chain. You are in very capable hands, in the hands of Thabiso Shingwenyana. And it is an honor to be working with young Black people of such dedication, of such ambition. We're going to be creating a system whereby we can foster our thinking that can move in tempo with our projects. Because if we develop our projects faster than we develop our thinking, we're going to be at a disadvantage. I leave you with the Honorable Thabiso Shingwenyana. Please keep interacting us through emails and on our Facebook page. Thank you very much.